At 3:15 a.m. on November 17, 2025, the Kapistan Yar test range became the focus of an unusual event. The site had come online for a scheduled diagnostic on a strategic missile system, and a Russian engineer initiated the cryogenic pre-chill sequence. However, Ukrainian reconnaissance teams had been monitoring the site for 48 hours, ready to capitalize on a brief window when the missile silo doors would open and expose the support systems inside. These reconnaissance teams had carefully timed the operation, waiting for the right moment when the silo doors would open during the diagnostic test. The Ukrainian forces were well aware that this would expose key components of the Russian missile system. The doors opening served as a signal that the missile systems inside were vulnerable to attack. Ukrainian military intelligence, particularly from a unit named YAO, had intercepted data that indicated the diagnostic test was not linked to an actual missile launch. This meant the silo doors would be opened, exposing the delicate inner workings of the launch installation. This intelligence set the stage for the operation. The plan was set into motion by Ukraine's Security Service SBU and the Special Operations Regiment SSRU. As part of the operation, the SSRU deployed 2 vehicles to create a diversion by staging a fake traffic accident on the access road, preventing any ground-based response. Meanwhile, a team of OSA quadcopters launched 4 FPV drones, each equipped with a small C4-shaped charge warhead. These drones were designed to infiltrate the missile complex and disable the silo systems all within 47 seconds. The Ukrainian operation had been meticulously planned. For 48 hours prior to the attack, Ukrainian reconnaissance teams observed the Kapistan Yar site from a distance, gathering crucial intelligence. They knew that the Russian engineers would conduct a diagnostic test on the strategic missile systems, and they had carefully timed the attack to coincide with the brief vulnerability window when the silo doors would open. Once the missile silo doors opened, the support systems inside would be exposed, creating a critical opportunity for the Ukrainian drones. The operation hinged on exploiting this small but significant window of vulnerability. Military intelligence gathered by Ukraine's SBU and Special Operations Unit confirmed that the diagnostic test would not involve a missile launch, so the silo doors would open without any immediate threat of a missile being fired. This information gave the attackers the perfect chance to strike. The Ukrainian forces prepared their drone assault carefully. The team selected 4 OSA FPV drones, each costing about $2,000. These small, inexpensive drones would carry shaped charge warheads capable of puncturing key components of the missile system. The drones were equipped with precise guidance systems, allowing them to target critical subsystems such as cryogenic pipelines and missile handling areas. To ensure the success of the attack, the team needed to disable the Russian air defense systems. They planned to use a combination of deception, electronic warfare, and carefully timed maneuvers to reduce the effectiveness of Russia's layered defense network. The plan was executed with the help of the SSRU, which deployed vehicles to block access roads with a staged traffic accident. This move created confusion and delayed any possible Russian reinforcements. The SSRU's vehicles effectively blocked the path for ground-based responses, giving the drones a better chance to penetrate the site's defenses undetected. While the ground team created the diversion, the drones were launched from a hidden compartment elevated into the dense fog surrounding the Kapistan Yar site. The fog played a crucial role in the attack, reducing visibility and scattering radar signals. This environmental advantage made it harder for Russian defenses to detect and target the drones as they approached their objective. At 3:15 a.m., when the silo doors opened as predicted, the Ukrainian team executed the first phase of their plan. At precisely 3:15 a.m., the missile silo doors of the Kapistan Yar site began to open, signaling the beginning of the attack. The Ukrainian drones, launched from a concealed compartment 3 miles away, took flight in the dense fog that blanketed the area. This thick cover was key as it interfered with both visual and radar tracking, providing the attackers a crucial advantage in avoiding detection. The initial drone OSA-1 was designed as a decoy. Its primary mission was to provoke a response from the Russian electronic warfare EW systems. As it entered the silo's defense perimeter, it was detected by Russia's EW system, Kasoka-4, which began jamming its control signals and rendering it ineffective. The loss of OSA-1 was expected and part of the larger plan. By forcing the Kosoka-4 to focus its jamming energy on OSA-1, the Ukrainian team was able to gather valuable data about the jammer's frequency and band-revealing vulnerabilities that could be exploited by the remaining drones. With the EW system locked onto OSA-1, OSA-2 was deployed as the second decoy. The drone flew into the line of sight of the Russian defenses, making itself as visible as possible to trigger a response from the Russian long-range surface-to-air missile systems. The nearby S-400 battery tasked with defending the silo fired a missile at OSA-2, which was destroyed almost instantly. However, this exchange provided another victory for the attackers. It distracted the S-400 system and revealed the vulnerabilities in Russia's layered defense systems, creating a brief window for the remaining drones to strike. Now with the Kosoka-4 and the S-400 distracted OSA-3, and OSA-4 entered the dangerous short-range defense zone. This area was heavily monitored by systems like the Torm-2 and Panzer S-1, which were equipped with both surface-to-air missiles and powerful anti-aircraft guns. OSA-3 was the first to face these defenses. As OSA-3 approached, it was detected by Torm-2's radar from over 5 miles out. In response, the Torm-2 launched a 9M331 missile at the drone. However, the Ukrainian pilot of OSA-3 executed a daring low-altitude maneuver to avoid the missile. By diving the drone into the thick fog, the radar signal was scattered, breaking the missile's guidance link and forcing it to self-destruct. This move was both a testament to the skill of the pilot and an exploitation of the fog to defeat the Torm-2's fire control system. Despite this brief success, the mission was far from over. As OSA-3 continued to fly through the defense zone, it was targeted by the Panzer S-1, one of the most advanced anti-aircraft systems in Russia's arsenal. The Panzer system fired a volley of 57 E-6 missiles, creating a lethal fragmentation field designed to destroy the drone. OSA-3 was hit in the process, its structure torn apart by shrapnel. But the effort was not in vain. As OSA-3 was taken down, it had bought enough time for OSA-4 to close in on its target. However, OSA-4 was also damaged during the exchange. A near miss from the fragmentation cloud caused partial propulsion failure, destabilizing the drone and causing it to veer off course. Despite these mechanical issues, the pilot, identified by their call sign Koval, made a bold decision. Rather than fighting the drone's uncontrollable movements, he adjusted the flight pattern to exploit the drone's new characteristics. By performing a tight corkscrew dive, using the silo's superstructure to break line of sight, OSA-4 was able to avoid further attacks and close in on its target. This was the final phase of the attack. OSA-4 reappeared above the silo, and by 3:47 a.m., the shape-charged warhead successfully penetrated the silo's cryogenic line, which carried liquid nitrogen at extremely low temperatures. The impact caused a thermal shock which cracked the silo's metal and stressed its electrical systems. Ukrainian sources reported that the explosion led to a short circuit, triggering a chain reaction that caused the conventional warhead stacks to detonate. The missile launcher, which had been worth an estimated $100 million, was now a twisted mass of heat-distorted steel. In the aftermath, the silo's primary launch system was rendered completely inoperable, and nearby air defense systems were also destroyed or severely damaged. The entire facility's operational capacity was disrupted, and it was clear that the operation had dealt a significant blow to Russia's missile infrastructure. The destruction of the $100 million missile launcher at the Kapustin Yar site had far-reaching consequences both tactically and strategically. The attack not only disabled one of Russia's most valuable missile systems, but also had a ripple effect on the entire defense infrastructure surrounding the site. The operational impact was immediately evident, but the long-term consequences were even more profound. Following the explosion, the site was left in disarray. The primary launch system twisted beyond recognition by the thermal shock, and the subsequent detonation was no longer functional. The silo's infrastructure was heavily damaged, with the cryogenic line carrying liquid nitrogen ruptured and spilling across adjacent subsystems. The blast caused widespread damage to the facility's electrical systems, rendering the missile complex inoperable. It would take months, if not longer, to repair the damage and bring the site back online, if it could even be done at all. The immediate result was a loss of one of Russia's most sophisticated missile launchers, which had been part of a limited production series with an estimated annual throughput measured in the single digits. Losing this launcher not only dealt a blow to Russia's missile capabilities, but also diminished their strategic reserve. The complexity and cost of rebuilding such a launcher meant that the gap in Russia's missile capabilities would not be easily filled. Beyond the launcher itself, the destruction of this site had a more profound impact on Russia's broader defense network. The missile silo was part of a larger air defense network, and its neutralization created a gap in coverage. This disruption forced Russia to reconsider its defense posture and reassess the vulnerability of key infrastructure. With one of its missile silos disabled, a significant air defense corridor was now open, creating a potential weakness that adversaries could exploit. The political ramifications of this attack were also significant. Communications within the facility ceased for hours, and testing at other missile sites was reportedly suspended for investigation. Ukrainian intelligence sources suggested that high-end air defense assets were diverted from frontline positions to secure the rear areas of Russia's homeland. This shift in resources meant that Russian forces would be stretched thinner, with their focus shifting toward homeland protection rather than maintaining a robust defense on the front lines. Despite the chaos caused by the attack, Russian authorities initially downplayed the incident, calling it a training mishap. However, social media in Russia soon revealed the extent of the damage. Pictures and videos of the explosion circulated, showing the twisted wreckage of the missile launcher and the surrounding infrastructure. While Russia maintained an official silence, Ukraine's statements were more measured, emphasizing the cost-effectiveness of their operation. The Ukrainian government highlighted the success of using small, inexpensive drones to disable such a high-value target, showing the world that coordinated, low-cost systems could breach the protection of even the most heavily defended infrastructure. From a strategic standpoint, the attack demonstrated the growing asymmetry between high-end defense systems and inexpensive, adaptable attack platforms. Ukrainian forces had successfully used cheap modular drones to force Russia to waste expensive munitions and reveal weaknesses in its air defense network. The exchange for $2,000 drones against a $100 million launcher showcased the evolving nature of modern warfare, where small, low-cost systems can disrupt the balance of power and force more expensive and sophisticated systems into reactive positions. The success of this operation sent a clear message. The cost-effectiveness of defense had become a critical factor in modern military strategy. Expensive defense systems, when faced with low-cost, agile attackers, could be rendered ineffective. Each use of long-range interceptors or advanced radar systems provided the attacker with exploitable data that could be used to tailor future strikes. Over time, this data would allow attackers to fine-tune their tactics and countermeasures, continuing to exploit the vulnerabilities of expensive defenses. The successful operation at Kapustin Yar highlighted several key strategic and tactical lessons that are reshaping the landscape of modern warfare. At the heart of the operation was the clever use of low-cost drones and electronic warfare exploiting vulnerabilities in an otherwise highly advanced and expensive defense system. This not only disrupted Russia's missile and air defense capabilities, but also provided critical insights into how future conflicts might evolve. One of the most important takeaways from this operation is the emerging asymmetry between high-tech defensive systems and inexpensive modular attack platforms. The Ukrainian forces used 4 $2,000 FPV drones to disable a $100 million missile launcher and significantly impact a multi-billion-dollar air defense network. The attack was carried out with precision, utilizing decoys, electronic jamming, and carefully timed maneuvers to bypass Russia's defenses. The cost-benefit ratio of the operation was staggering. By investing a minimal amount in small, cheap drones, Ukraine forced Russia to expend much more expensive interceptors, radar systems, and air defense missiles, which were then exposed and compromised. This situation underscores a broader shift in modern warfare. Small, flexible, and low-cost units can now effectively challenge and, in some cases, defeat much larger, more costly systems. The use of inexpensive drones combined with tactical deception and intelligence gathering proved that precision strikes could undermine the strategic value of expensive high-end weaponry. As defense systems become more complex, so too do the ways in which adversaries can exploit their weaknesses. From a tactical standpoint, the operation also emphasized the importance of exploiting environmental factors to achieve mission success. The fog played a crucial role, limiting the ability of Russian radars to track and target the drones. Additionally, the use of decoys and electronic warfare to mislead Russian defenses allowed the remaining drones to penetrate the outer defenses, exposing vulnerabilities that would otherwise have remained hidden. The success of this operation was not simply about the drones themselves, but about how they were integrated into a broader strategy of deception, intelligence gathering, and exploitation of defense weaknesses. On a larger scale, the attack also raised questions about the effectiveness of traditional large-scale defense networks in modern warfare. The Kapistan Yar operation showed that even the most advanced missile systems and air defenses are vulnerable to the right combination of low-cost, high-tech tactics. This shift may have profound implications for future military strategies, where traditional heavy weaponry could be rendered obsolete by swarms of inexpensive drones, electronic warfare, and highly targeted strikes. Politically, the attack had a significant impact on both Russian and Ukrainian public narratives. While Russian officials initially downplayed the event, calling it a training mishap, the images of the damaged missile silo and the subsequent media coverage forced Russia to confront the vulnerability of its high-value infrastructure. For Ukraine, the operation served as a powerful demonstration of their technological capabilities and the cost-effectiveness of their military strategy. The success of this attack sent a clear message that even highly defended assets could be compromised with relatively simple low-cost systems. It further emphasized the importance of intelligence innovation and adaptability in modern warfare. From a broader strategic perspective, the Kapistan Yar operation may shift how both sides approach defense and offense in the conflict. As defenders adapt to the use of drones and other low-cost systems, they will likely develop more advanced countermeasures, including better sensor fusion, improved radar detection, and counter-UAS unmanned aerial systems technologies. However, the challenge will be balancing the cost and effectiveness of these countermeasures. As long as attackers can exploit weaknesses in these systems, such as relying on deception or electronic warfare, the battle will continue to evolve. Ultimately, the lesson learned from this operation is clear: the cost of defense systems matters more than ever when facing inexpensive, adaptable threats. As both sides continue to refine their tactics, the key question will be whether low-cost modular attack systems can maintain their effectiveness against increasingly sophisticated countermeasures. The next iteration of warfare will likely see further advancements in drone technology, electronic warfare, and targeted strikes, making it increasingly difficult for expensive defensive systems to maintain their superiority. In conclusion, the attack at Kapistan Yar represents a significant turning point in the evolving nature of warfare. It demonstrates that even the most expensive and advanced defense systems can be outmaneuvered by low-cost, agile attackers. The incident not only disrupted Russian missile capabilities, but also forced a re-evaluation of military strategies in an era where technology, intelligence, and adaptability are becoming more important than sheer firepower. This operation was a demonstration of the future of warfare, where small, inexpensive systems with the right intelligence and tactics can neutralize large, complex, and expensive military assets. As both sides learn from these encounters, the future battlefield will continue to be shaped by the ongoing competition between defense innovations and low-cost, high-tech attack strategies.